morning. Let us start chapter 25, probability. All of us sometime or the other have used terms such as most likely, almost uncertain, most probably, no chance at all. All these can be studied under probability, and probability is known as the measure of uncertainty. The measure of uncertainty is called theory of probability. Probability is of great mathematical interest and of great practical importance. Some terms and concepts related to probability. Random experiment. Random experiment means all the outcomes of the experiment are known in advance, but any specific outcome of the experiment is not known in advance. That is a random experiment. For example, tossing a coin is a random experiment, but there are only two possible outcomes, head and tail. The two possible outcomes in tossing a coin is head and a tail. And these outcomes are known in advance. But the specific outcome of the experiment, whether we get a head or a tail, is not known in advance. So all these experiments will be termed as random experiment. Then we have the sample space, the set of all possible outcomes. All the possible outcomes, all possible outcomes of an experiment, of a random experiment, is called a sample space and is denoted by the letter S. Then we have event. An outcome of a random experiment is called an event. Outcome of a random experiment is called an event. I have taken up the example of tossing of a coin. The possible outcome is a head or a tail. Getting a head or a tail is an event of the experiment. Getting a head or a tail in tossing a coin is an event of the experiment. Hence, we can define probability of an event as the number of events or outcomes favorable to the event by total number of possible outcomes. This is how we define probability of an event. The number of outcomes favorable outcomes by total number of possible outcomes. And it is seen that the probability of an event plus probability of its the complement of that event. Complement of that event means, suppose the probability of getting a head and probability of not getting a head together will be always equal to 1. Probability, suppose here, if probability of an event is 0, that means this is an impossible event. For example, in the throw of a dice, it is impossible to get the number 7 in a single throw. So probability of such an event will be 0. And in the single throw of a die, probability of getting a number less than 7 is 1, which is called a sure event. This is called a sure event. This is called an impossible event. So probability of an event always lies between 0 and 1. It will always be between 0 and 1. Minimum value 0, in which it is considered as an impossible event, and its maximum value will be 1, which is termed as a sure event. And the rest of the values will always lie between 0 and 1, that is the proper fractions between 0 and 1, such as 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 9 by 10 and so on. Always be this way. With this we can start exercise 25A.